Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in just another couple of minutes here. Awesome. Hello, everyone, and good morning. I am Martha Grant, Director of Cooperative Development here at Action Network and ActionBuilder, and I'm so excited to be here today with you. So I'm going to talk today about our ActionBuilder Action Network integration and actually show you how you can implement it yourself. We're going to be covering a lot of other trainings today, but we wanted to launch with this because we think it's a really powerful addition to our tool sets, and it's brand new, only about a month old now. So a bit of background, if you're new to the ActionBuilder Action Network world, these are two sister tool sets. Action Network came first. Both tools are built using our never-for-profit cooperative build model. And what this means is we're actually structured so that we can never take investors' money and then be owned by them. We will never look to generate a profit from our movement. We're all about serving the movement, providing the infrastructure that our movement needs to be successful. Action Network is a mobilization tool. And what that means is that it is really all about helping you build your lists, build your reach. Action Network started with an email platform, and there are forms, petition tools. Some folks have actually used the form as an authorization card in an NLRB election context. There's also call campaigns, letter campaigns. It's really an advocacy tool set in addition to a mobilization tool set, letting you leverage your networks to try and force through change. The distributed events tool is one of the many features that really has set Action Network apart. It lets you create an event and then let everybody who wants to be a part of your movement or your effort create other events in their own local areas. So this is the tool set that was used for the Women's March. It was first used in this context for a campaign against Walmart on Black Friday in 2012. And that was long before I really knew what Action Network was. I was working at AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees at the time. But I have a picture of myself wearing like a winter cap in a Walmart parking lot picketing. And I thought, oh, this is such a cool tool that let me find a local spot to picket in my neighborhood. I wonder what this is. And it turns out that was Action Network. I joined the team in 2017, and the real focus was we want to move from Action Network, having this one tool set, to building a tool set that was really focused on organizing. So Action Network, mobilization, list building, motivating a lot of people to do these large scale actions, mostly online actions. ActionBuilder is an organizing tool set. And when we say organizing, what we mean is really focusing on the one-to-one conversations and building the local structure to enable more of those one-to-one conversations to happen and more of that power building to happen. We're going to be covering that in a lot more detail this afternoon in a mobilizing to organizing session. So if right now you're really focused on those online events, those digital events to build power. This afternoon, what I'll be talking about is how you can take that awesome work you're doing on the mobilizing side and then translate that power building into on the ground organizing using ActionBuilder. The next session is going to actually cover ActionBuilder in a lot more detail. So if you are new to ActionBuilder, that's a great session for you. So definitely don't feel like I'm going to just like leave you hanging today, where I'm really digging into the integration and how the integration works. If you think I'm going way too fast, we're having a Q&A session at the end, but then we also are having sessions throughout the day to really give you deep dives into different functionality, especially of the ActionBuilder tool set. On a monthly basis, every Tuesday, or weekly basis, every Tuesday, the Action Network team does a fantastic weekly demo that will also give you a full overview of that tool set. We're not going to be doing a full overview of the Action Network tool set today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, if Zoom will let me, and talk you through some of the differences between ActionBuilder and Action Network in a little bit more of a concrete way. So this is one of the ways that you could use the two tools together. So in Action Network, you can create those public facing forms, fantastic for volunteer intake, for bringing more people into your cause. You can also create public facing events. Again, a fantastic way to bring people in, people you haven't interacted with before. And you can automate texts, emails to your volunteers. So in addition to the mass email that I mentioned earlier, there's also a mass mobile messaging tool in Action Network as well. And you can automate that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. In ActionBuilder, this is really where we see you managing your volunteer outreach. So you can do those one-on-one calls, texts, emails to potential volunteers using the ActionBuilder tasks feature. You'll log details of your conversation and where the person is in terms of their leadership engagement. You'll give leaders access to targeted lists of their volunteers and potential volunteers for outreach. So you're actually like building up your volunteers to take ownership and lead on the ground. You can track volunteer RSVPs, confirmations, and attendance at events, canvases, phone banks. You'll track volunteer relationships with county parties, organizations, caucuses, and clubs if that is something that you're interested in doing. You can have any types of entities in ActionBuilder. That's something we'll be talking about in the next session, an ActionBuilder overview, getting started on ActionBuilder. And then you can also track like paid programs, any other programs that you're running in ActionBuilder as well. And to just give you a visual example of what this could look like, you can have this Action Network intake funnel, that identification of potential volunteers, and then you move them into deeper engagement with your organization using ActionBuilder. So those initial one-on-one calls, tracking follow-ups, RSVPs, attendance at events, identifying leaders, helping them build teams, helping them build their leadership capacity, and then really helping those teams become sustainable and tracking that sustainability. Another key point before we dig into the integration is we really built ActionBuilder to be a tool that can be staffed with very few people and yet run a successful nationwide program. And so the ActionBuilder Action Network integration is actually a key part of that vision that we have for the ActionBuilder tool set, allowing you to have thousands of people streaming in through your Action Network public facing forms, through your email campaign, the other list building tools that I think many of you are very, very adept at. But then using ActionBuilder to build out the distributed structured network to really take all those awesome people who want to be engaged with your organization and giving them a chance to engage with your organization in a deeper way, actually in their communities. So now I'm actually going to walk through the tool sets themselves and show you how to use the integration. Again, we're not really going to be doing an overview of this is everything Action Network does, this is everything ActionBuilder does in this session. Action Network, join our Tuesday demos for that overview, and ActionBuilder, join our next session on getting started, or really all of the sessions today are going to be digging into the ActionBuilder toolset and how you can use it effectively. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again so you can see what I see, and we're going to dig through the setup process. So this is Action Network. This is our sister tool set here. We have these different tabs at the top where you can really take any of these different actions. And Action Network is always built to try and shorten the gap between you, somebody who needs to create these petitions, create these events, and the creation of these events, petitions, these various different things. So if I click on forms here, it'll automatically create a new form. If I click on letter campaigns, it'll create a new letter campaign, give me an option to modify it, customize it to my needs. Here in People, this is where you can send out your emails, your mobile messages. You can track your mobile message inbox. We're going to talk about ladders a little bit later. That's the automation tool set. Create reports, robust queries, take a look at all of the activists, the people who are part of your lists, do uploads. And then details, this is where you can create tags. You can create questions. You can customize different targets. We're going to talk a little bit about the API next. And then, of course, we have our support tab. So a robust knowledge base. You can email our support team, check out release notes, all of those different to-dos that a tool set needs. So the first thing we're going to do is dig into the tags. So one of the big things to note about the ActionBuilder Action Network integration is we have a two-way flow of data. And tags is really at the heart of that two-way flow. So you might remember yesterday, if you joined yesterday's sessions, we have something called fields and responses in ActionBuilder, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that. Those fields and responses can be something like activism would be the field, and then a response could be that somebody signed a petition, or that somebody attended an event, or that somebody is interested in leadership training and leadership development. You can map those responses in ActionBuilder to Action Network tags, and I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. But first, I'm going to actually create the tags in Action Network that I want to map to ActionBuilder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So you can see how easy it is to create those tags in Action Network. Just super simple to create them. You can always edit these tags if you decide that you want to name them something else. Very, very straightforward here. Next, what I'm going to do in terms of the setup of the API is I'm going to hop here to details, and I'm going to click on API and sync, and we are in my test group now. Does Action Network have peer-to-peer testing is a great question in from the chat, and feel free to drop questions in the chat or the Q&A throughout this, and I'll get to them. Action Network does not have peer-to-peer texting. So Action Network has mass text. So you can use the mobile messaging tool here under the People tab to create a mobile messaging campaign. Another question about API. Yes, Action Network has a robust API. ActionBuilder, we are building a robust API for ActionBuilder currently. But yes, Action Network has a robust REST API that you all can take advantage of. The API key, so this is just my test group, so not worried about sharing it with you all. This API key is what you'll use to take advantage of the API. If you're wondering what an API is, it is just a way of moving data from one system to another. So using this key, I can move data from this group into ActionBuilder. Don't worry about that if that feels like really intimidating. You can just completely forget that I said API. This is about the ActionBuilder Action Network integration. You just need to copy this string of letters and numbers. You don't even need to remember that it's called an API. So one of the great things about Action Network and ActionBuilder is we care a lot about ease of use. And even though we sometimes use some intimidating technical language like API, it's really simple. We try and include lots of screenshots in our documentation. So if you find any of that language intimidating, just ignore it. Look at the screenshots. They'll show you what to do. So I'm going to copy and paste that string and go here to ActionBuilder. So like I said before, we're not digging deep into how ActionBuilder works, all the different ways you can take advantage of ActionBuilder in this initial overview. We're really focusing on the ActionBuilder Action Network integration. Definitely join next session for the deep dive into all the awesome things that you can do with ActionBuilder. So if I go here to the integrations tab, I'm going to go here to Action Network, and I'm going to click Add Group. So really simple. You know, if you're intimidated by like the technical side of things, all you do is go to integrations, click on Action Network, and then click Add Group. You see here we actually link to those step-by-step instructions for how to find your API key right here from this screen. Then I copy and paste that string of numbers that I just got from my Action Network group, and I click Add New Group here. One note, you can have tons of Action Network groups. Maybe you're a distributed organization with lots of different chapters around the country. Well, that's totally awesome and totally fine. You can put all of those groups here in your Action Builder integrations tab and make them available to your local campaigns on the ground. You can have as many groups linked to your Action Builder organization as you want. Next, I'm going to go here to my campaign, and I am going to go here to my demo campaign and click on Customize. So the way information is structured in Action Builder is that we have different campaigns. In Action Network, you have different groups. So in Action Builder, you can kind of think of a campaign as a list of people that you're organizing. So if you have lots of different local organizations, those local organizations will each have their own campaign in many cases, and they may or may not have their own groups in Action Builder. So that's kind of up to you in terms of how you decide to set it up. The Campaign Customization tab here is where you set up what is visible, how your campaign is structured on the ground in Action Builder. You choose lots of different settings. We're going to go over this in the Getting Started on Action Builder session next. The key thing I want to come over here on is the Integrations tab. So you set up a one-to-one connection between an Action Builder campaign and an Action Network group. So it's one direction from the Action Builder campaign to the Action Network group. But if you have 5 campaigns in Action Builder, each of those 5 campaigns can relate to the same Action Network group. So I'm super excited about that. The Integrations tab, this is where I choose the group that I want to sync data from Action Builder to Action Network on and sync data from Action Network to Action Builder on. So I'm going to click on Martha Test, that campaign that group I was just in Action Network. And apologies if my terminology gets mixed up. It can be hard switching between those two. So I just selected the Martha Test group in Action Network. So I created the option to have this in the dropdown in that Integrations tab that I showed you where I copied the API key. And here in the Integrations tab in the campaign customization in this demo campaign, I've now actually said, okay, we're turning on the integration in this campaign. Let's do this. One of the early considerations we had that we talked about with our cooperative development panel that you heard a little bit about yesterday is, did we want all of the information to sync from your Action Network group to your Action Builder campaign? And the answer very quickly was absolutely not, right? Like your email lists, your mass mobilization, that can be thousands, millions of people that you're sending emails or even mobile messages to through Action Network. So we wanted to give you the ability to choose, pick and choose in an easy to use way who should flow from Action Network to Action Builder. And that is how the magic tag was created. We're not super creative when it comes to naming things on our team, but I really actually have come to enjoy the name of this, this magic tag. So this magic tag doesn't exist in Action Builder. When I selected the Martha Test Action Network group, this magic tag was automatically created in Action Network. Whenever I add this Action Network tag, the AB Action Builder demo campaign 1, to a record in Action Network, that person's information will flow to Action Builder. And they will either be created as a new record in this Action Builder campaign, or the information from Action Network will be appended to an existing Action Builder record if there's a match on email or phone number. In Action Builder, you can also have people with multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, and in Action Network, a person can only have one email address and or one phone number. So you can actually have information from multiple different Action Network records associated with only one Action Builder record as part of the sync as well. Now we get here down to sync tags and responses. So this is a two-way sync, which means that if I select petition signer, signed petition here in Action Builder, that maps to petition signer in Action Network. That means that that information will be kept up to date both places. So you'd be able to see in Action Builder that somebody signed a petition if I apply the petition signer tag to that person in Action Network. And similarly, if somebody is marked as having signed a petition, maybe you're doing paper petitions on the doors, in Action Builder, they'll be marked as a petition signer in Action Network. So that information flows both ways, flows both places. I just click this blue checkbox to then make that link live. Another note on the integration, when I associated this group, Martha Test, with this Action Builder campaign, and that sync went live. Another thing that we did is we matched all of the information in the Action Builder campaign, all those emails, phone numbers, to the emails and phone numbers that are in your Action Network group. And anybody who is subscribed in your Action Network group will get a little subscription symbol next to their name, their email or phone number rather, in Action Builder. So if an email, martha@actionnetwork.org, is subscribed in the Martha Test group, then there would be like a little symbol, subscribe symbol. It's like a little bell next to my email, martha@actionnetwork.org, to symbolize that I am subscribed. So your organizers on the ground can quickly see that somebody is subscribed in Action Builder. Let me actually go into the wall chart and click on a person so you can see what that looks like. And this is all fake data. So you can see here that we actually already have these subscriptions set. These subscriptions can be added manually by organizers as well. So if you have previously marked a bunch of people as subscribed by their emails and phone numbers in Action Builder, and let me just do that for this phone number, mark as subscribed. Those people will be added to your group in Action Network for you to email, text, mobile message them from Action Network when you turn on that sync. When, say they're in both places, Martha Test and this Action Builder demo campaign, all of those folks would get that little symbol saying that they're subscribed in Action Builder as well. Looks like we've got a question in the Q&A. Do you need to tag someone with both the magic tag and the sync tag in order for the sync to work, and the map sync tag in order for the sync to work? So yeah, I think that's a great question. It's something that's worth going over a few different times. So when you select Action Network group, that Martha Test, the sync is happening. What that means is a little confusing. What it really essentially means is that everybody in Action Builder gets flagged if they are already subscribed to your Action Network group. You don't need to do anything to make that happen. This magic tag IB Action Builder Demo Campaign 1 will be applied to anybody who is already subscribed in Action Network. So that tag will exist on all of those Action Network records that already exist in Action Builder and are marked as subscribed, or already exist in Action Network and are marked as subscribed. So that magic tag will automatically be applied to all the records who already exist in both places, would be another way to think about that. In order for anybody new to flow from Action Network to Action Builder, they need to have this magic tag applied by you. And we're going to talk through a couple different ways you can do that. We highly recommend you do that in an automated way or in a bulk way. And we'll talk about a couple different ways you can do that. In Action Builder, the way a record moves from Action Builder to Action Network is to manually or via upload, mark them as subscribed in Action Builder. Mark that email or that phone number as subscribed in Action Builder. So if I hop back to the profile, and you can see like unmarked as subscribed would actually unsubscribe the person's mobile phone number from the Action Network mass email, mass text. If I mark as subscribed, then they're added as a subscribed, and so that I could send them mobile messages, email them through Action Network. So that's the way to think about that movement. The other tags that you map, so going back to the integrations tab, that like petition signer, that does not influence movement. So only people who are already in both places, then they'll be kept up to date in both places. But if they have petition signer applied, it doesn't automatically move them in any way. The magic tag is how that movement happens. Anytime an Action Builder record is moved to Action Network, the magic tag is automatically applied. So that's kind of like our cue behind the scenes to say that this information should move both places. So that's automatically applied. Hopping back up here, I am next going to show you on the Action Network side some of the other fun things you can do using those tags. Feel free again to drop any questions into the chat, anything like that. So to start, I'm going to create a form. So I'm going to title this volunteer recruitment and save our city. Let's say build more bike lanes. There we go. You do your sponsored by, so this is the group. You create your form heading, join our cause here. And you can edit this form to add additional questions or anything else. And I'm actually going to show you this real quickly. If you wanted, you could have a question where tags are automatically applied to those folks, but you have to use questions here. If you use blank questions, you're not going to be automatically applying tags, but you can choose here different checkbox groups, other groups from this dropdown in order to apply tags automatically. So I'm gonna show you that a little bit later if we have time, or if that ends up coming up in the Q&A. For now, I'm gonna skip that, but just like a quick note for you to keep in the back of your heads if you decide to use this functionality. I'm gonna click Save and go to Next Step. And this is just the thank you page. So pretty straightforward, customizable again. You can edit the sharing options here. Hot tip, if you go to edit the sharing options, you can choose a share image here. And that's what will show up if somebody shares this on Facebook. By default, it just shows our logo, which isn't quite as fun, potentially. So now I'm going to click Save and Publish. So super simple, super easy to get these forms up and running. The next thing I'm going to do is show you how to make everybody who completes this form automatically flow into Action Builder. On basically all of these action pages, you have this Edit Tags button here. So I can click on Edit Tags, and now I can just select my tags here from the dropdown. So I'm going to select my magic tag. And now everybody who signs this form is going to move to Action Builder. Another quick note on how this integration works, it isn't live. So every hour this sync runs. So you're going to see all these records flow from ActionBuilder from Action Network to ActionBuilder on an hourly basis. And everybody who flows into ActionBuilder signing this form, you'll be able to see that flow here in the activity stream. So it'll actually say these records have been created right here. And it can be a little bit confusing, but they're going to be created as the support user. So whoever you make the support user here in the campaign customization tab, that's who it'll say created them here in the activity stream tab. So what some folks have done, what you could do is you could create a user account that's just like API user as the name of that person, and then make that person the support user here, tie it to your email address, and then it'll say API user in the activity stream, which is a fun little workaround. But it also doesn't matter necessarily as long as you know and your team knows who it is that that API data is flowing in under. So really easy. You see the tags that are being applied on this form right here under tags. You see the status live, and then down here, you're going to see your statistics. So you're going to see that basic overview of who has taken this action. It says I took this action as the creator of it, and you'll see that grow over time, and you can then cross-reference that information with the activity stream and all the people that you're seeing flow in. Something I'd also recommend just for fun, but also just from a data management standpoint, is to create a tag for your different forms. So we could go here to tags and create a new tag that's something like source volunteer intake form. Create that tag. We could create that response then in ActionBuilder. And under our forms, I'm going to click on this list icon to go back to the forms that I've created in my test group. I can click on manage here next to volunteer recruitment. Click edit tags and then click source. Start typing it in, click save tags. Now that source volunteer intake form will be applied to everybody who completes this as well. And I could create a source volunteer recruitment response here in ActionBuilder. And I will just quickly show you how easy that is to do. If I go here to the info tab and click edit info, I'm gonna click on, we'll put this under events, and we'll add a response, source volunteer intake form. And then I'll hop over here to the integrations tab, click on Action Network, and do that source volunteer intake form here, map it to, I'll need to refresh the page. There can, if you ever create something and don't see it, refresh the page. It just gives us a second to find that information. Here we go, source volunteer intake form. Click that blue checkbox, and now all those people will have that source information applied. Another great question. So if somebody is tagged in Action Network with the magic tag, but has no other tags, will they still move to ActionBuilder? Yes. And if so, what tag will they have in ActionBuilder? They won't have any tags. It'll just apply their contact information. So the name that they have as an activist in Action Network, the email, the phone number, whatever information they have there, that's what will be applied. And if I go into a person's profile, it's kind of like if you add new here. So I'm just gonna add a new person, anonymous attendee, create person. You only need a first name to create a record in ActionBuilder. And then we'll put in a phone number here. So this is what the record would look like in ActionBuilder if somebody came in with just their phone number. They won't have any tags under the info section. So you'll see here, there's nothing here. It would just be the profile information that would be applied. Now what you can do is you can search for anybody. So if I go here to the activity stream, so we'll see that I had created this anonymous attendee. So we could search by whoever is the support user to see the folks who have come in via the API. That's one way to see who's come in via the API. The other way you can do this is you can search on last updated to pull a quick list of everybody who is updated to see that information, but it won't give you that that person came in via that intake form. But this is kind of a good segue to another helpful piece to call out. So if we go here to the people page, I can click on reports and I can click on the plus sign next to a report. And I could create a report for everybody who took a particular action. So that volunteer recruitment form here. And I can do save and select data. I'll call this intake form 730. And then I choose what fields I want. Doesn't really matter what you select here. For this purpose, we're just going to mass apply a tag to everybody who completed this. So total calculating, we might get one person. There we go. We get my person. And then you can scroll down to the bottom here. So everybody who met that criteria, in this case, everybody who filled out that form, I can scroll down here to the bottom and click add tags to all activists. So if you want to bulk move people from Action Network to ActionBuilder based on actions they've taken, use this report functionality to add tags to all activists here, and then they'll move over in the sync. We've got a question from Mike on the chat. Is there a training for this where we can work through it with someone? Because unfortunately, I'm lost with the Action Network integration. So we are going to be holding bi-weekly trainings on ActionBuilder Action Network integrations. That's going to cover a lot of the material that we're covering here. Mike, I don't know if you're AFL-CIO affiliated. If you are part of an AFL-CIO affiliated union, we encourage you to work through your international or contact the actionbuilder@aflcio.org email address. So they are doing great work to get people onboarded on how to use these tools together. And they're development partners on our table. So folks are very much involved in that as well. If you're not AFL-CIO affiliated and you are, oh, great, IBEW. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so we'd be happy to work with you on that. But, you know, Adrian Sauzetta and Jennifer Gray are really the awesome data folks who are leading on both the Action Network and ActionBuilder for IBEW. So definitely reach out to them. And they'll be the team who will help get you set up. And we are supporting them, the AFL-CIO is supporting them, and getting this integration live for IBEW local affiliates and organizers. Great question. So really simple, you just click this add tags to all activists, you select your tag, demo campaign, and then we'll add those tags to those people. In this case, it would just be duplicative, but duplication is totally okay. You don't need to worry about that removing any information or canceling out the tag that's been applied here in Action Network. Next, we're going to go here to details again. Actually, we're going to go to people again. And I want to just show you some of the cool functionality we've got with ladders. So if I click here on ladders, ladders is the ability to add automation in Action Network. So I'm going to click next here. I'm going to click get started with ladders here. And we've got these great template ladders, which are really great, really good to start off with. So I'm going to click this email welcome template. Right now, you have a bunch of different options for how people can join a ladder. But the big thing to note is that at this very moment, tags cannot be used to trigger a ladder to create a new ladder, but that is actually about to change. So right now you have these entrance points, and we've got subscribe to an email list as the way somebody would be added to our ladder. And then we could add different decision points along the way to our ladder here. This shows you all the different things that can happen. So like we've got like wait for a day, send an email, you're welcome, to join, you've got to wait for a day, then we send another email, wait for a day. So all of that is pretty fun, pretty easy. But what you can do is you can actually edit this ladder to have tags as different trigger points here. And in about 2 weeks, you'll be able to add a tag as a trigger here, the entrance point to this ladder as well. And what that means is that you'd be able to have a tag in ActionBuilder, for instance, that leadership training tag. So I'm an organizer in the field. I click on this info section. I can click add and choose, let's actually create a new tag for potential leader here. So we'll go here under info and we'll go here under leader and we'll say potential leader needs training. And whenever an organizer would apply that response to somebody in ActionBuilder, what you could do is have that map to that potential leader tag we created in Action Network. And then when somebody gets that tag, you could set it to trigger a ladder. So you, instead of it saying subscribe to email list, it would say that tag applied, you choose that potential leader tag. Then they could get invited to a recurring event that you're doing for leadership training. You could send them automated text messages, automated emails to follow up, and you could create different decision steps along the way so that if somebody does click on the link and say, yes, I'm RSVP for the training, or if they do RSVP for the training, it changes the flow of the automated emails, text messages that they receive. To really help you, hopefully, automate a lot of the work that you're doing as organizers to just try and drive people to different trainings, to different events. Great question from Trina in the chat. So how much does ActionBuilder cost, or did you already cover this part? Did not cover this part. We did not. So if you go to actionbuilder.org, and click on join us right here at the top of the page. The pricing starts at the pricing is $50 a month per user. So what we're envisioning is that for a smaller organization, especially if you're currently using Action Network in a robust way, but you want to start doing this ActionBuilder work, you could actually get away with just having one paid user account, that one admin account, especially if you're a smaller organization kind of just starting to leverage these types of organizing tools. The organizers, leads, and admins are all paid accounts, and the activist accounts are free, always free. And an activist can add any information to records that already exist in ActionBuilder, as long as you give them access to those records. They can do all this search functionality, they can take a look at the activity stream, but they don't see this tasks tab or this customize tab. The paid user accounts will let your users create tasks, add new people directly to ActionBuilder. The lead accounts let folks customize, let them export information, and then admin accounts will do the uploads, all of that. We're going to dig into more of those user roles in the next session as well. So definitely stick around. We'll also be dropping a link to the ActionBuilder Getting Started guide in that session too. So very, very pumped about that. And that'll give you all the tools you need to get started. Again, we're a never-for-profit organization, so these user fees are all about us covering our costs. We see the ActionBuilder Action Network integration actually as potentially undercutting our pricing for ActionBuilder, since one of the big things that those free users can't do is add new people directly to ActionBuilder. But if you're using those public-facing Action Network forms, you don't need to worry about that because your list is essentially building itself through these form pages in ActionBuilder. We're really excited about what that means in terms of reducing the strain on organizers for adding new people manually to the system who have attended events. Instead, the moment somebody RSVPs for an event, they flow into ActionBuilder. We're also really excited about what this means in terms of you all building your lists in a scalable way. In the Mobilize to Organize session, we're going to talk a little bit more about the flywheel effects that you can get going of having people RSVP for an event. And then in ActionBuilder, you'll be able to create tasks to immediately do like that in-person or over the phone, over the text message, like one-to-one relationship building and follow-up in an authentic way through ActionBuilder to start building that local power rooted on the ground. This is about everything I wanted to cover for the ActionBuilder Action Network integration portion, but I'd love to dig into any additional questions that you have, thoughts you have about how this tool set might be helpful for your work. I see that we have a hand raised in the chat. If you could just drop your questions into the chat box or the Q&A, that would be ideal. And yeah. If you raise your hand, please drop a question into the chat or the Q&A. That would be fantastic. Thank you. Awesome. Got some good feedback in the chat too. Thank you, everybody. Let me take a look quick and see if there's anything else I really wanted to demonstrate. You know what? There is actually one other thing that has come up in a couple cases where people are getting started on using the ActionBuilder Action Network integration, especially coming from either using the tools together or they're using ActionBuilder and not so familiar with Action Network. I do think it's really helpful to go over these questions and custom fields real quick. So I'm going to hop over here to questions and custom fields. Got a question from Philippe in the chat. So can ActionBuilder be used for small election campaigns, more specifically city council around 10,000 voters? Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm actually, so my background is both political and on the labor organizing side and the nonprofits too. And I love a good local election. I love local races. And I just truly believe too that those local campaigns, those small electoral campaigns can be such a great way to build real relationships and build real solid political networks on the ground. So I wouldn't think of ActionBuilder as a replacement for a canvassing platform. I would think about it as like a different way of running an electoral campaign. The recommendation from my perspective, although, you know, you can run this program however you want, but the recommendation from my perspective is you'd use a public-facing Action Network form. So when you, the candidate, volunteers are going out to do recruitment of new supporters on the doors, you'd actually have that form up and you knock on every door and, or, you know, nearly every door in your community, really go for density, target neighborhoods where you think you have a lot of support, and then have all of those people sign up using that public-facing Action Network form. You could just pull up that Action Network form on your own phone, give it to that voter, potential volunteer at the door, have them sign up to hear more about your campaign. Then you'd have those records flow into ActionBuilder, and you'd be building your list, ultimately building towards that GOTV push of getting out to all of your supporters. And I love that idea of like targeting a city council campaign of around 10,000 voters, which is what was asked about in the chat. You could easily have 10,000 records in ActionBuilder. You could start by uploading the voter file, but building that organic list can also just be like such like a great activity. And frequently you'll get better contact information building your list organically rather than just uploading from the voter file. Follow-up question was how much it costs for elections. It's still that $50 per user fee. And, you know, for a small city council race, you're talking 1 to, you know, max 4, if you really wanted to stretch it, paid user accounts for that. So, you know, in that $50 to $200 a month range. How many activists can use one subscriber's AB? You can have as many activist accounts as you want. These are free accounts. You can create hundreds of them. All of that is good. And so we really would love to see folks having those 1 to 5 paid user accounts, like for that city council race that was brought up in the chat just now, and then having 100 volunteer accounts like that would be awesome. That's the future of our democracy right there. Another question in the Q&A, can you tag a list with the magic tag during upload in Action Network? 90% sure that should be doable. The report functionality is the way that I've been doing it. So yeah, but we can get back to you on that. And maybe Jeff, if you want to make sure that I am correct on that and get back to our anonymous attendee in the Q&A, that would be awesome. So questions and custom fields, this is something that I think is super important to know as you're setting up your ActionBuilder Action Network integration. This add new question is the way you create a question to appear in your existing questions dropdown. So when you're creating a form and you want to have different responses correspond to different tags, this add new questions where you do that, and then you select from the list of existing questions when you're building the form to add that to your form. So we're going to choose a field type. We're going to do a checkbox group. This administrative title is just on the back end. And then I'm going to go ahead and add an administrative title, demo question. The label is what folks will see when they're completing that form. So it's super important to make this fun. So I'm going to just make this fun with an exclamation point. Demo question here. Option label is the option that will appear as a checkbox in the Action Network form. So I'm going to just call this peanuts. So people can select peanuts here. We'll actually name this ice cream toppings here. And then you can click this tag an activist button to have a tag applied. So this is where you get the drop down for your tags. So actually for this option label, we'll say that this person is interested in phone banking, and then you could select phone banking here if we had already created that tag to have that be applied. So don't have good options built right now, but to just give you an understanding of how easy it is, we can then add another checkbox, have that option label stored, apply a different tag, or apply the same tag. Another fun thing you could do here is you could have a question like issues somebody cares about, and or like here we could do volunteer interests. And if somebody says phone banking, the magic tag will be applied. If somebody says canvassing, to kind of build off of that electoral context, the magic tag would be applied. If they say donor, we could say, you know what, the magic tag won't be applied for this. And we'll just store this as a potential donor field. So that maybe you only want your volunteers to flow in there. Actually, scratch that. You would have to create a tag for donor and then not apply the magic tag there. My mistake. So super fun to play around with this. Lots of different possibilities. Really excited about that. Yeah. Any other questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat or in the Q&A. Fantastic. So Jeff just dropped into the chat. We actually have 2 trainings. We have a packed day of trainings for you all ahead. We really want to give you a solid grounding in our tool sets and especially on ActionBuilder. So starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing the Getting Started on ActionBuilder training. So this is really a deep dive training. If you haven't really experienced ActionBuilder in the past, this is the training for you. We're going to cover lots of the different functionalities, how you actually get set up on ActionBuilder. Should be pretty great. And a good thorough overview, hopefully, with your help. Lots of good questions I'm hoping will come through in the chat of all the different functionality that you can take advantage of. Simultaneously, we're going to have Michael Cruzenberry, a fantastic member of our team, talking through how to get data into ActionBuilder. So if you're an existing ActionBuilder user, if you want to dig more into the integration and the API, that training will be for you. And he'll cover uploads in particular, how to take advantage of the upload functionality, how to take advantage of like adding new people directly into the organization. Again, touching on the ActionBuilder Action Network integration again, also touching a little bit on the API that's to come. So really excited about that. If you already feel like you've seen everything you need to see to like feel really excited about ActionBuilder, getting in data into ActionBuilder will be a really good training for you too. That upload functionality is really great to see up close. Question in the chat, how can we get a trial account for election campaigns? We don't really do trial accounts. You know, feel free to sign up for a demo or reach out to support@actionbuilder.org to get a one-on-one walkthrough and set up a one-on-one session. A question from in the Q&A, will we be able to search by Action Network tags in ActionBuilder someday? Yes, 100%. So what I just walked through today in terms of mapping the ActionBuilder fields to the Action Network tags here in the integrations tab. So you can search on any of this information that is synced between the two tools. So all you need to do is create a place in ActionBuilder, one of those responses in ActionBuilder, sync that response that you created in ActionBuilder to an Action Network tag, and bam, now you can search on all of those tags in ActionBuilder. So we're really excited about that. Another question in the chat, Action Network have an API with Mobilize? Yes. Another question, are we limited to being on just one computer at a time? No, I believe the limit is currently set at 3. So the idea is people could be on their tablet, their phone, and their laptop at the same time using ActionBuilder. All good. So awesome. Oh, and a question in the chat too about, is that a Paul Wellstone sticker in the background? Yes, it is. I am from Minnesota, and Paul Wellstone is definitely the reason I'm doing this work. So, and more questions coming in the chat. Love this. Definitely hop on our next training. We'll be able to cover more of these. Quick shout out to Sean with, is there an integration between ActionBuilder and NGP or ActBlue? No, but there is an integration between Action Network and ActBlue. And then between ActBlue and NGP. So that is a good question to bring to an Action Network training, because there's a sync from ActionBuilder now to Action Network. You can probably figure out some workarounds there. Thank you all so much. So appreciate all of you taking the time to join us today. And I will hopefully see many of you in the next session, and I hope Michael will see the rest of you. Thanks, everybody.